To kill a man is a transaction. To break his mind is an art. We do not deal in death. We deal in dread. The greatest battle is fought not on the field, but behind the enemy's own eyes. In this chill veil of night, deep within the hidden cave of our mountain sanctuary, the cold seeps through the stone like the breath of forgotten ancestors. The only flame is this meager fire, its tongues licking at the darkness, earthing long shadows that dance upon the jagged walls as if the spirits themselves whisper secrets. I, your master, an elder whose gaze pierces the veil of illusion, speak in hushed tones, for these words are not for the wind to carry. You, my disciple, sit before me, your breath stilled like a pond in winter, your ears attuned to the sacred lore passed from shadow to shadow. Tonight's teaching is not of venoms that twist the flesh or the silent ascent of sheer cliffs, but of the blade forged within the skull, the weapon that turns a man's own thoughts against him, clouding his heart until sincerity fractures into madness. Behold these instruments, not of iron or wood for slaying, but for weaving illusions that ensnare the spirit. This hollow bamboo stalk, slender as a reed in the marsh, serves not to propel darts through the air, but to sow whispers into the unseen crevices of the mind. Observe as I strike it thus. A low, resonant thrum emerges, akin to the dragon's pulse that stirs beneath the earth, unsettling the spirit without ever touching the ear. It is the groan of the earth itself, a vibration that echoes in the bones, making the teeth hum as if the underworld calls. Feel it now, disciple. Place your hand upon it. The splintery texture bites at the skin, a reminder that even the simplest tool can command the invisible forces. And here, this dried hide of the phantom toad, its surface parched and brittle under my fingers. With a blade's edge, I scrape from its back this fine, iridescent powder, letting it fall onto a twist of rice paper. The grit of it clings to the fingertips, pungent and earthy in scent, like the damp soil after a storm mingled with the rot of hidden things. This dust opens the eye to the spirit world, inviting visions that blur the boundary between waking and the realm of Uriai, stirring the Makoto, the true heart, into a whirlwind of doubt. Now, heed this tale of a mission past, where we infiltrated the fortified halls of a proud daimyo's castle, not to pilfer scrolls or spill blood, but to instill terror that devours from within. Under the cloak of moonless sky, I slipped through the guard's watchful gaze, a shadow among shadows, ascending the walls with ropes of twisted vine. My aim was the Lord's private chamber, where he slumbered amid silken screens and the faint glow of lanterns. Into the narrow fissures of the ceiling beams, I inserted this tuned bamboo, positioned so that its dragon's pulse would seep downward like mist from the mountains. Night after night, that earth groan would invade his dreams, an inaudible hum that vibrated his very teeth, awakening him in sweats, convinced that malevolent Kami lurked in the rafters. To deepen the weave, I dusted the phantom toad's powder upon the rim of his sake cup, a mere whisper of iridescence that dissolved unseen into the brew. The pungent, earthy tang went unnoticed amid the rice wine's warmth, but soon it pried open his inner sight, summoning fleeting apparitions, ghostly faces in the corners of his vision, whispers of betrayal from empty corridors. His sleep fractured, his days blurred with unease, as the spirit world bled into his reality, clouding his heart with illusions that no prayer could dispel. Yet the true strike came on the third eve, when the Lord's nerves hung by threads finer than spider silk. I targeted the battlements, where a loyal sentinel stood watch over the moonlit valley. In the hush before dawn, I approached like the fog, rendering him silent with a pressure upon the neck that stole his breath without a cry. In his stead, I erected a straw effigy, crafted in the dead of night from bundled reeds and stolen armor, every plate and helm replicated with precision, down to the lacquered sheen that caught the faint starlight. The dummy stood rigid, its lifeless eyes staring into the void, an absolute silence enveloping it like the grave's embrace. No breath stirred its form, no rustle betrayed its falsity. As the hours waned, the Lord, tormented by the dragon's pulse and the phantom toad's visions, paced his halls, his mind a storm of unrest. From his tower window, he spied the sentinel upon the wall, motionless as a statue carved by the gods. He called out, his voice echoing across the stones. Once, twice, thrice. No answer returned, only the wind's mournful sigh. Compelled by dread, he descended, torch in hand, the play of its flame casting elongated shadows that twisted like serpents upon the ground. Approaching the figure, he extended a trembling hand, expecting the warmth of flesh, the loyalty of a sworn man. Instead, his fingers met the coarse straw, splintery and cold, the armor hollow as a discarded shell. In that instant, his perception shattered. The straw dummy's silence pierced deeper than any arrow, unraveling the seams of his sanity. Was this a Uri in disguise? A omen from the underworld? His Makoto, once steadfast as mountain rock, dissolved into madness. The illusions we wove convincing him that his domain was cursed, besieged by vengeful spirits that mocked his rule. I cease my words now, and the cave falls to stillness, broken only by the crackle of the fire, its embers glowing like distant eyes in the gloom. The smoke curls upward, carrying the scent of charred pine, mingling with the lingering earthiness of the powder upon my hands. You nod, disciple, your face illuminated by the flickering light, shadows playing across your features as if etching the lesson into your soul. There was no clash of swords, no siege engines battering gates. In the span of a single moon cycle, the daimyo forsaken his stronghold, laden with provisions though it was, fleeing into the wilds with his retainers, babbling of hauntings that no exorcist could banish. His alliances crumbled, his campaigns withered like autumn leaves, all without a single shinobi blade tasting blood. Such is the art we preserve, the sacred path of the unseen warrior. The body is strong, the mind is fragile. A samurai's code cannot protect him from what he cannot see, hear, or understand. We do not conquer the man, we conquer his reality. In these mountains of IGA, where the mists conceal our ways, remember that the shinobi does not merely hide. He becomes the mist itself, enveloping the foe until he doubts the ground beneath his feet. The dragon's pulse, that earth groan we summon through bamboo, is but one thread in the tapestry of dread. It resonates in the depths, stirring the spirit to unease, making the brave question their valor. The dust of the phantom toad, with its gritty touch and iridescent gleam, unlocks gates to realms unseen, where illusions dance like fireflies in the night, leading the mind astray. And the straw effigy, pivotal in its deception, stands as a sentinel of silence, its absolute quietude a void that swallows trust, shattering the enemy's grasp on what is real. Feel the cold night air upon your skin, disciple, sharp as a hidden kunai. Inhale the smoke that stings the eyes, reminding us of fleeting life. Witness the shadows on these walls, ever shifting, teaching that nothing is fixed. These senses anchor our craft, for in them lies the power to manipulate the unseen. Ponder the scrolls of our forebears, the Bansen-shuki whispers of weaving deceptions like spider webs, ensnaring the prey in their own fears. The Shiniki speaks of stirring the heart's sincerity into turmoil, turning allies into phantoms of suspicion. We are not assassins of the body alone, but guardians of the shadow arts, where victory blooms not from force, but from the subtle erosion of will. A lord may fortify his castle with 1,000 men, yet if we cloud his heart, plant seeds of madness, he becomes his own undoing. Imagine the daimyo in his flight, his eyes wide with visions of Uri, the inaudible hum pursuing him like a relentless ghost, the memory of the straw dummy's lifeless stare haunting his every step. His retainers, once bound by oaths, scatter as leaves in the gale, their lord's fractured Makoto infecting them like a plague of spirits. This is the higher strategy, solemn and unyielding as the eternal peaks around us. We do not revel in slaughter. We orchestrate the fall through whispers and omens, preserving our own lives while the enemy succumbs to the illusions we craft. You must master these tools, the splintery bamboo that channels the dragon's pulse, the gritty powder that summons the spirit world, the silent effigy that gashes the soul. Practice in secrecy, for revelation invites ruin. Let the fire's crackle be your rhythm, the pungent scents your allies, the play of shadows your canvas. In time, you shall wield them as I have, turning dread into dominion. Victory is not when the enemy falls. It is when he surrenders to the phantoms in his own head. He surrenders to the phantoms in his own head. The ultimate victory. This has been an exploration of the shinobi art of psychological warfare on DarkTruth TV. If this glimpse into the art of dread has value for you, please give this video a like. It helps these hidden histories reach other seekers. Subscribe for more investigations into the dark, the true, and the utterly forgotten. Remember, the greatest battles are won before they are ever fought.